And now we have a little aftermath here.
Well,
Everything is shaking. Okay, that's it. I don't know if you could hear the sound. The sound is actually most terrifying.
Frank Esser was in his home close to the epicentre when the quake hit. He joins us now from Hualien, which is about 30 kilometres from the epicentre. Frank, welcome. So what was it like when it hit?
It was quite extreme experience. I had difficulties to keep balance and keep standing on my 2 feet while I was holding the wall. So really an extreme experience.
Were things falling from shelves?
Yes, a lot of stuff falling from our shelves. We have a lot of glass shards everywhere, and even the water tank collapsed or flipped outside. So we made sure our house is earthquake proof, but still we had a lot of stuff falling everywhere.
Yeah, and how did the kids handle it?
Yeah, they were terrified. In particular, we have one 5-year-old and one 1-year-old baby, and the baby was crying all the time and is still crying with every aftershock we have. We have aftershocks every 3 to 5 minutes, stronger ones, so it's still ongoing and still quite scaring experience.
Every 3 to 5 minutes. And yeah, I was looking at one of the geological sites and it was saying that there was an aftershock about 15 minutes after the initial quake that was about 6.4 and shallower than the earlier quake. Was that one really strong too?
Yes, that was strong as well, and it's always about how shallow it is, as you mentioned as well,
Yeah.
if it's vertical or horizontal. So this one was really strong and really harming a lot of structures.
Yeah. So you're confident in the stability of your home, as you describe it as earthquake proof. But yeah, what have you thought about these other images that we've seen, really dramatic images of semi-collapsed buildings around the city?
Well, this was the strongest earthquake in 25 years, and back then they introduced very strong measurements and regulations regarding constructions. Those houses you see now, they are probably older, and it's still difficult to prepare for an earthquake that has had this strong 7.4.
Yeah. And are you familiar with some of the buildings that we've seen in some of the vision that have collapsed or semi-collapsed?
We regularly pass by those places. Hualien is a town or a city of 100,000 citizens, so it's not a really huge one, and we know all these places. We pass by these places, and in some places we have even been under those entries that you can pass by.
Yeah. And we keep on seeing shots of 2 buildings in particular that have collapsed. As I understand it, you haven't left home today, but have you heard that there are many other buildings around Hualien that have collapsed?
I think what you can already see is most of the buildings that are affected.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, we have these very strong building and constructions regulations that are enforced very strict as well. That's why there's not happening more than this. But what you see here, these buildings, most of them are nearby a riverbed, and this is always the area of an earthquake that is affected most.
And what have you thought about the images that we've seen of the landslides around Taiwan?
Taiwan has really it's a very mountainous area with these landslides going down the whole east coast in particular. That is very steep, and as you said, it's the whole roads and train connections are entirely affected. You cannot go to north at all, and we can just hope that those rescuers can reach the people that are trapped.
And does it sound like most of the damage is on the eastern side of the island?
Yes, most of these damages are on the eastern side, and some, of course, in the central mountains that are less populated. But I think, as usual with earthquakes in Taiwan, a lot of casualties that are not nearby the epicenters are from falling advertisement boards and stuff. So the most severe what you experience is indeed in the east side.
And Frank, how long have you lived in Taiwan, and how regularly have you felt earthquakes over the years that you've been there, and do you kind of get used to them?
I live in Taiwan for 10 years now, and Taiwan does have regularly these earthquakes. And after this 1999 earthquake, Taiwan is prepared very well for earthquakes. It's you get used to it, yet it feels very terrifying if you have the earth moving like that, and you can just hope for the best that you are not on the road in the mountain, because there you have never safety.
And yeah, people are they're pretty confident. You sound pretty confident in the stability of your home, even if really strong earthquakes hit. Is it the case that building standards are so strict now that generally people feel pretty comfortable, even if it's a strong earthquake, if they're in a modern home?
I think that's indeed the case, that Taiwanese are used to have earthquakes, and the law enforcement regarding these constructions is very, very strict, and that's why you have little happening or less casualties in comparison to other countries experiencing alike strong earthquakes. We have, besides earthquake in Taiwan, we have regularly typhoon that are very strong, and Taiwan has, for a reason, these sometimes less beautiful concrete bricks as houses, and that makes you feel safe, and that is indeed safe. And these houses that you can see now are sadly most likely older than 25 years.
And Frank, as we've been speaking, have you even felt some tremors just over the last few minutes, or when was the last one that you felt?
Well, right now I haven't experienced while we are speaking, but I would say every 3 to 5 minutes we have stronger aftershocks. And the official prediction now is that the next 3 to 4 days we will still face some aftershocks. Some of them might even be stronger than 7 point something.